Hello, this is 3-7 notes for honors geometry, and it requires us to understand in this section that isosceles triangles have two congruent sides and two congruent base angles. So that means that in an isosceles triangle, these two sides are congruent. They are called the leg. So this is a leg, and this is a leg. Legs are congruent. Now this is the base here. Okay, and the base angles are congruent, and that are these angles and these angles. These two angles are equal. So basically, if opposite sides are congruent, the opposite angles are congruent, and vice versa. So it's about the isosceles triangle. And in an isosceles triangle, two things are true. The legs are equal and the base angles are equal. Now, a sample problem might look like this. If you have a triangle, and let's say these two sides are congruent, and then this angle here is x squared minus x, represented by that expression. And this angle here is 12. So I want to solve for x, and the equation, because this is an isosceles triangle and the legs are congruent, the base angles are congruent. So x squared minus x plus equals 12. I was going to say minus 12, but equals 12. X squared minus x minus 12 equals 0. Factoring this gives us x minus 4 times x plus 3. So here x equals 4 or x equals negative 3. So each one of those values can work for x, because negative 3 squared minus plus 3 will be 12, and then 4 squared minus 4 will be 12. So when we have an isosceles triangle with legs equal, the base angles are congruent. So it sort of goes something like this. If the triangle is isosceles, then the angles are congruent. And if the angles down here are congruent, it's an isosceles triangle. And so the sides are congruent. So the legs are congruent. So that's really what 3-7 is telling us about. And isosceles triangles have, that's an S apostrophe S, have two congruent sides and two congruent base angles. And the sides of an isosceles triangle that are congruent, those are called the legs. And the angles opposite them are called the base angles. And so a sample problem might have an expression like x squared minus x is one angle of an isosceles triangle, and 12 is another angle of an isosceles triangle. So since they're equal, I can use algebra to find x to equal 4 or x equals negative 3. That's how you do it. So have a good day.